Namaste. My name is Dana, and I will be taking you through a yin yoga practice today. First of all, I have my yoga mat today. You can also use a blanket if that's more comfortable for you, and you can have an extra blanket if you like for a prop. I have this folded lengthwise, then in half, and then lengthwise in thirds again. And I have a block as well. And I'm beginning in a pose called Seiza, which is a kneeling position. And if this isn't too comfortable for you, you can always put some cushions like a pillow or a block underneath your seat to elevate your hips so you don't have as much bend on your knees. Or if your ankles are a little tight, you might even roll up your blanket underneath your ankles. This is a good pose for digestion. So we're sitting tall, relaxing the shoulders, and settling in, getting comfortable. Sometimes it might take a while in a pose. You might have to fidget around to get settled in. Just rest your hands on your lap. Take a few deep breaths. Listen in. And make a mental note of how you feel and where you might be feeling any little tweaks in your body. Just making a note for future comparisons, setting a baseline, if you will. So in yin yoga, we are focusing on the deeper tissues of the body, the bones and the joints. Sometimes the parts of the body we neglect. And we're taking this opportunity to let them rest and rejuvenate so that they can heal and become stronger. So allow in your poses for your bones to feel heavy and for you to have space or a stretch between your joints. For example, in this pose, the stretch at the knee and at the ankle. And let's take this moment to roll the shoulders forward. So nice, slow, smooth circles. Breathing in, breathing out. And then slowly reverse direction. And we'll go ahead and come into butterfly pose, just to release out. Walk your hands back behind you. Allow your knees to open wide. So this is something of a vulnerable position. Just open your chest to the sky. Take a few deep belly breaths. So you can have your elbows slightly bent here. Try not to scrunch at the neck and shoulders, but rather feel open, empowered. And then just make your way up. And we'll come into one of my favorite poses, which is called deer pose. So we're going to take one leg and tuck it back behind us. And here, the back leg might be touching the front leg, or it might be a little wider. It's up to you, whatever is most comfortable for you. And you might be different on one side versus the other. So just settle in, feeling a stretch on the inner thigh of the back leg, as well as a little bit of the outer hip, outer thigh and the front leg. Remember, let your bones feel heavy. We're going to add layers onto this pose. So we'll take one hand to the back ankle and the other arm, reach it up, extending to the sky. And this is called giraffe pose. Now, every yin yoga practice is not completely yin. There's always a little yang. And this arm in the air is an example of yang. It takes a little more effort. It's a little more active to hold this arm up in the air. Keep the shoulders relaxed, neck is long. Try not to create tension in other areas to compensate. Notice how you feel. Notice if anything shifted. Again, you might have to adjust your pose. Get comfortable. And let's go ahead and lower this arm and come into a twist. So taking the back hand now, wrap it across the front knee and turn and look over your shoulder. So I should mention here, if your arms aren't very long relative to your torso, you might place your hand on a block, but still try to avoid scrunching in the neck and shoulders. So that is an option for you, should you need it. We'll slowly turn to face our front knee and walk the body down, coming into a forward fold. So depending on your flexibility, you might be lower or higher. You may want to rest your forearms on a blanket or a pillow. You might even have one hand off to the side to support you better. Feel free to turn the head, nod the chin to avoid any tension in the neck and shoulders. Feel free to loosen up your jaw if you need to, just like you're chewing gum. Carefully make your way up again. Turning back to center, coming back to the butterfly position, and just place your feet flat on the ground. Allow your knees to sway side to side, just to loosen up before we come to the other side. And then we'll tuck the other leg back behind us. At first, just sitting upright. And a word about feet and ankles. Your foot can be pointed or foot can be flexed. Whatever is more comfortable for you. Don't forget, if you need to place a block under your hand if you need that support. Notice where you're holding tension or tightness in your body. And if it's the same or different on this side, tell any tight areas of your body to relax. Maybe they'll listen. Now we'll come into giraffe on this side. So we'll extend one arm up, reaching to the sky. Be aware of your breath. Notice if it changed. And then slowly lower the arm. We'll make our way now into the twist on this side. So wrapping one hand across the opposite knee, slowly turn through the belly to the other side. Through our yin yoga practice, we are opening up meridians of the body through which our chi flows, or prana. Same thing. Increasing the flow of chi and prana in the body allows us to be more energized and free from disease. Now we'll start to make our way down, coming down onto one or both forearms, deepening into a forward fold. And let's gradually come up, slowly back to center, letting our knees sway from side to side. We'll make our way now onto our bellies. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So lowering down, stretching back through the toes, and propping ourselves up onto forearms. So the elbows can be underneath the shoulders or slightly forward of them. Forearms are parallel. Keep the spine long and lengthened, and continue to stretch back through the toes, creating space along the spine. Take your gaze to a spot on the ground in front of you. And if you'd like, you can come into lion's breath, taking a big inhale, exhaling as you stick your tongue out as far as you can and looking up as high as you can toward your third eye between your eyebrows. Feel free to take a few rounds just like that. Just relaxing the nervous system. optional to stay in Sphinx pose, or if you'd prefer, you can challenge yourself with a little more of a yang aspect to the yin practice by coming into seal pose. So we'll take our hands out toward the front corners of the mat and the palms angle out slightly. Keep the elbows slightly bent here and shoulders back and down. So we're feeling a stretch through the belly as we pull the shoulders down and back. Continue to stretch back through the toes and lift up through the heart, finding length through the spine. So this is a challenging pose. We won't hold this one as long as some of the others. And feel free if you need to come back down into Sphinx pose if you need. Don't forget to breathe. And if you haven't already, feel free to lower down into Sphinx. And then we'll stretch back into Child's pose. Knees can be wider if that's more comfortable for you. And we'll turn the palms to face up, then turn the palms to face down. Just a few rounds like that. And then wrapping your arms around your body, allowing your shoulders to roll in. So if this isn't comfortable for you, you can always stack your fists beneath your forehead or place your block underneath your forehead for support. Slowly draw your body up again. And we're going to come down onto our side into a pose called cattail. So just resting your head in your hand like you're laying on your side watching television or something. We're going to extend one leg out in front of us and take the other leg, bend the knee. If you can, catch the foot behind you. I didn't bring any straps with me today, but if you need to, you can always use a strap or a towel to catch that foot behind you as well. And in this pose, you can even rotate open if that feels appropriate for you. So this is a complex pose where we have one leg stretching through the front of the thigh, the other leg stretching through the back of the leg. We're twisting the body and arching open into a back bend, as well as stretching along the length of one side of the body. So there's a lot going on here. You might even grab a hold of the toe with one hand and relax your head, neck, and shoulders on the ground as you extend. And continue to rotate open, deepening your twist. Gradually release both legs. And either roll over onto the other side or flip around. So setting up by resting your head in your hand, and then extending the top leg forward, bending the bottom leg, catching the foot if you can. Stay here if you'd like, or gradually deepen the pose. When you're ready, taking a hold of the big toe, rolling your body open to the sky. Slowly release. And we'll make our way onto our backs. First, bending the knees. We'll hug our knees. And then place one foot to the ground. Take the opposite leg and pull it into half stirrup. So here I'm grabbing the big toe with my first two fingers and my thumb. If you need to, you can always grab the inside or outside of your arch if you can get a better hold that way. So I'm pulling my knee to the outside of my rib cage here. And I can take the bent leg and extend it straight on the ground. Feel free to bend the bottom leg again, releasing the top leg. And we'll change sides. Bend the opposite leg, taking a hold of the big toe or the inner outside of the arch of the foot. Pulling the knee back toward the outside of your ribs. When you're ready, extending the opposite leg along the floor or ground. We'll start to bend the bottom leg and release the top leg. Allow your knees to sway from side to side. And let's release out the neck by taking our head into a hammock, interlacing your hands behind the back of your skull. Keep the back of the neck long and lift your head up off the ground. Create space along both sides of the neck and the front of your neck. It's as though you're tractioning your neck. And then slowly lower your head, releasing your hands. We'll come into pentacle pose, widening the feet, at least mat width apart, and opening the arms out very expansively in all directions. Breathe into your body like you're inflating a raft. And then exhale and empty it out again. Inhale, filling up the raft. Exhale, emptying out again. Allow your breath to find that smooth, steady rhythm. Deep enough, but not too deep. Shallow enough, but not too shallow. Slow, steady rhythm. Continue to stay here as long as you like. And when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And we'll inhale, stretch the arms away from the toes. Exhale to release. Start to bend the knees. And we'll hug the knees in. Gently rocking side to side. Finally making your way over onto your right side. Taking your time. Coming up when you're ready. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.